good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxshare, on the show tonight. It's the one and only Linda, and the legend, yes, the legend, is the Bridge. Evening, boys and girls.
Evening, Oxshare. Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, everyone. I hope you're all well.
Well, can I say a huge good evening to you too? Massive good evening to the guys in the lobby, and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
I heard you've not stopped laughing since last night. Any truth in that rumour, Bridge?
I'm very smiling, ear to ear type thing, you know. I think it's. It's only a good thing.
Is there any truth in the rumour also that you and Alec are going to try and cut that Scott Brown is broken disc for the Christmas number 1?
I think that would be a great idea for Alex Wishy. I think he should do that. And I don't know if he could just keep the Scott Brown, but I would go for the Celtic. I'd go for the whole lot. I'd go for the whole thing.
I think Jody could work on that acoustics. So. Me and Fox could be at the back in the maracas, Linda.
Maracas.
Absolutely. I think that would be a good song. It just makes everybody laugh, and it's a great tune. Enjoyed hearing that last night.
Skipper on the thing.
Is broken. Scott Brown is broken. That was absolutely wonderful. Seriously, not my singing, but the words it.
It was funny when it happened. It was funny. Alex stuck with that forever. Anyway, how are you, Linda?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks, Ox. Looking forward to the season kicking off in earnest at the weekend. That's pre-season over and the serious stuff starts. But yeah, looking forward to the games that are coming, and hopefully another good season lies ahead for us.
Where are we, Linda? Where are we? How far on do you think we are?
Well, I think probably in terms of the pre-season, we could see that at the beginning, they were, trying to find their fitness. The performances maybe weren't, quite what we expected the first couple of games, but you started to see the quality in the play getting a bit higher, and as the opposition quality increased as well, I think we raised our game. And I thought the game against Real Madrid on Sunday was fantastic to watch. For a pre-season friendly, Ox, it was a really, really good game, and I thought we played some terrific stuff.
I agree with you. I actually quite enjoyed the Brighton performance. I mean, I liked what Brighton done for their preparation. They went to 5-4-1 with a younger team and tried to stop us playing, but they were practicing their formation. Yeah. And we played some nice stuff, Bridgeman. But the Sunday game was just, for a friendly, it was a feast, Linda.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, and you're right about the Brighton game. I mean, all that was really missing, Ox, was maybe just a wee bit more creativity in terms of clear-cut chances and a goal. You were desperate for them to get a goal, but you could see that when they started with the team that they did against Real Madrid, the quality was higher, and I just thought that we played some terrific stuff. Definitely the best game of all the pre-season.
Here. Obviously, we were at home, slightly ahead of their schedule, but they've got players that have cost tens and tens of millions of pounds playing, so it was a good result. Good for the morale, Linda.
Yeah, it was, and it was great to see the fans getting back into the stadium over the last few weeks as well, and what an atmosphere it was. And I mean, I wasn't there, but I just watched it on the television, but you were still getting excited before the game. You knew that there was going to be more of a crowd there, and I think speaking to people who were at the game, they just says it was absolutely fantastic just to be back in the stadium.
Yeah. Aye. And who stood up for you?
Well, I mean, in the Real Madrid game, or even just in terms of pre-season itself, I think, Lundstram seems to have settled in quite well. I think he's going to be a good addition to the squad. You can see he's got a bit of, Premiership experience from down south as well. He's quite strong. He's powerful. He does look to get forward too. Sakala obviously got his goal on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. But I thought players like Scott Wright and Calvin Bassey have impressed during the pre-season too, and they're obviously good players, and it'll be interesting to see how much time they get in the weeks ahead. And obviously you've got your Kamaras, your Kent, You know, even Cedric Itten chipped in with a few goals as well. So there's been quite a lot of players that have stood out, and it kind of augurs well for the season ahead, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's another guy who always sneaks under the radar with this squad. We've got this goalkeeper, John McLaughlin. I know, but he kept another clean sheet, Linda.
Yeah. And this may be controversial, but I actually think he's better with the ball at his feet than what McGregor is. His distribution's better than Allen's at times.
Right. Are you putting that out there for debate?
Maybe. I don't know if people will agree, but he's never let us down, and maybe Allen's the better shot stopper, but I just think in terms of getting the play moving and his distribution, I think McLaughlin's just a bit better than him.
Well, McGregor might be a good shot stopper, but I'll go to a champion shoplifter. Bridgeman, what's your thoughts?
Very good. I thought that with the Real Madrid game, we had 5 or 6 players that were absolutely outstanding, in my opinion, and one of them was John Lundstrom. I thought he was just tremendous. Mm-hmm. His all-round play was just super duper, and I did like Big Ethan when he came on. I thought he was just excellent. Yeah, I think some of these guys, they've never seen anything like this. That was showbiz, absolute showbiz, and they're out there against some of the best-known clubs in the world here under Steven Gerrard. People for Real Madrid walking across to shake the manager's hand. Our manager. Unbelievable.
Did you see that, Linda? Have you ever seen that before?
No. And he's just a total global superstar, isn't he? It's just unbelievable. I did think at the end as well, Ox, when the fourth official put up the 4 minutes of added time.
Ancelotti went nuts.
Ancelotti, I've never seen him so irate in the whole time that I've seen him in football. And then what happened was, I think Gerrard saw that, and then he told the referee to blow the final whistle. So even Willie Collum's doing what Gerrard tells him now. So
well, it's a good sign. That's a good sign. I have to read a lot of sites. Fox sends me a lot of stuff. He sent me one the day that they were complaining about that Real Madrid. They said, there you go. They were knuckle crushing at Ibrox again. That was the words they used. But there you go. I don't know what they possibly mean there, Linda. I don't know what they mean.
Definitely don't know myself either.
Oh, no. But aye, great. We're in a good place. Just for the lobby, the Rangers Radio lobby, we've heard to put Fox on the maracas. He struggled with the triangle. He couldn't work out what way to hold it. And for the band, you might have an announcement tonight. Skipper might have lost his place. You never know who returns. You never know who
that's
returns.
A boo for that one. How could Skipper lose his place?
Skipper might have lost his place. You never know who returns. Okay?
Oh my God.
That's all I'm saying. That's
the top triangulist. My goodness gracious.
That's all I'm saying, Bridgeman. No more. You're not getting any more out of me. Skipper's lost his place in the band. Right, okay. Right. We talked a bit last night, Linda. I don't know. It's on an interview again with the Balogun thing, and I don't want to go into that too much, but a guy who get mentioned in that a lot, and I think the words that Balogun used was Michael Beale's a genius, a football genius. So yeah, I'm thinking, wow, how important is he to this jigsaw that we've got? You know, Ibrox.
Yeah.
But we've got an interview come out today for Michael Beale, so if you wouldn't mind, do you want to hear it?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Bridgeman?
Amen.
Right. Fox is still turning it. I wish you could see Fox. He's turning the triangle and trying to work it away. Fox, I don't want you to get in there. Right. Okay. Get yourself some mute and let's hear from Michael Beale.
It's been really positive. Going on like, the boys that came in at Christmas, we said we wanted that period to integrate both Jack and Scott. I think you've seen from their pre-seasons that they really have been integrated the last 4 or 5 months, so they're really up to speed. John Lundstrom's come in and he's trained at such a high level, intensity every single day, so we've been so pleased with him. And then Fashion's only arrived in the last week, but you can see that infectious enthusiasm he brought in the weekend's game. So as a group, I think we've built up slowly, and I think that playing teams of the level of Arsenal, Brighton and Real Madrid has really opened our eyes to getting back to our level, and I think we've shown that over the last 3 games. We've made steady improvements. From Arsenal to Brighton was an improvement, and then just from Brighton to Real Madrid in 24 hours, the improvement again was huge in terms of intensity. It looked like a real game. that shows us as staff we're fit and ready to go. It shows the players they're ready to go. So we're in a real positive frame of mind. We've come through pre-season with no injuries, which is fantastic. And now with 3 games to go, we're chomping at the bit to get back to Ibrox with the fans at the weekend and start again.
Yeah, that level that you reached over the weekend in the 2 games that you played there, how pleasing was that, and how much were you able to see what you guys have been working on in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, after the Arsenal game, there were some things that we felt we needed to find in terms of intensity and urgency and energy on the pitch, and I thought we showed that against Brighton for large spells, and then with a completely different team on Sunday starting, we found that again maybe 10% more. And they're 3 very, very good teams. If you look at financially how much the players are worth in both teams, you're talking about top players. Just if you look at the midfields of, you look at Arsenal's midfield with Partey, and then you go the next week it's Basuma and Mwepo. There's nearly over 100 million just there in transfer fees, and then you're going in against Isco and Odegaard and players like that of Real Madrid, people that have won the Champions League. So the level goes up. Then players don't give the ball away too easy if you harass them and if you press them, and also they're very, very good at closing your space down when you've got possession. So you have to be at your level, and I think we've shown in the last week we're in a pleasing place, albeit the league's not started. It starts Saturday, so that's the moment we really need to show it.
Yeah, you mentioned Fashion Sakala earlier, and quite clear already the fans have taken to him, and he seems to offer, again, another different option for you guys in the forward areas.
Yeah, we like hybrid forwards. We like forwards that can play in more than one position. We like that across the pitch. We want players who have got transferable skills. Fashion's got that. He can play behind a striker, he can play with a striker, he can play up on his own, he can play wide. He's very quick, very energetic, very enthusiastic. He loves shooting at the goal, which I think everyone saw over the weekend. So it's exciting. He's got to get used to the league as well. Let's not forget the 3 teams that we played the last 2 weekends play a very European style of football, so he's going to have to get used to maybe some more direct play or some teams sat on the edge of the box. And he's just got to get to know his teammates more. So let's not expect too much too soon. But certainly we're excited about having him in the building and working with him day in, day out.
How do you manage that challenge of going from maybe a European style of football at the weekend with Brighton and Real Madrid to a different style against Livingston, and then it'll be a different style again with Malmo next Tuesday night? I
think team selection can change everything. I think just the placement of one player in a position different from the game before can change everything. I think tactically we're a team now that's very unpredictable to play against, and I think good players gives you that flexibility, that lovely fluid style that we have. It's took us quite a long while to recruit it and train it, and I think when the boys really believe and apply themselves, then we can be fantastic and we can overcome a lot of problems. The nicer football the opponents play, I think, a nicer game and an easier game to play in, which it sounds crazy, but some of the games in Europe against really high-level opponents we find slightly easier, which is nice. And in the domestic games last season, we found a way to be very, very consistent. And the only way to show that we're committed and focused on that is to start well on Saturday. That's the only way. Take it a game at a time, not look too far ahead. Each game is you have to problem solve, not just at the start of the game, but obviously in it as well. Teams change. They might start a low block and then go very high if they need a goal, and vice versa. So we're teaching the players that all the time. And as they become, their relationships in the team become stronger, they're better at problem solving. They need us less, which is the most exciting thing as a coaching staff, when the team need you less.
Livingston obviously provide a very unique challenge, albeit it's great results against them last season. What have you made of them in pre-season, and what are you expecting of them ahead of this weekend?
They always give you a really, really tough game. Extremely honest. The manager gets them, fired up. He's very enthusiastic. You see that in his team. They're a very, very difficult team to play against. I remember going back to the first season, they've always been difficult. We've never had an easy game against Livingston, and we don't expect anything different. They've got their hopes, dreams and aspirations for the season. They've had the same or even a little bit more time than us to prepare. They've obviously been playing competitive games as well in the Premier Cup. So, no, it'll be a stern test. It'll be a stern test. And until the season's up and running, the first weekend can sometimes throw up some strange results. And we've got to make sure that that's not the case for us, that we're strong and we put in a performance that gives us confidence for the coming weeks.
You mentioned the fans earlier on. Now, I know we spoke plenty last season about how much you missed them, the players missed them. Do you think already we're seeing the difference that they can make positively on the players' performances, particularly at the weekend there?
Yeah, it's exciting to have them back. I hope they're excited to come back as well. I'm sure they are. Like, I've seen some familiar faces, and it's lovely to see them, you know. See some children that were at stadium probably 16 months ago, and they've grown up a little bit now. It's just, you know, and you see familiar faces outside, the well-wishers, you know, that we've got hundreds and thousands of them. It's great to have them back in the stadium. If they can add an extra push on to what we did last year, then it's fantastic. You know, you can see how well the team performed without them, even though they were performing for them. If they can come along now and be part of that performance by really creating, you know, a cauldron of noise and intimidation for the opponents to add to our level already on the pitch, then it's fantastic. I think that little bit of push for the players is what they've missed, and I think if they can give them that, then hopefully we can have as successful season as we did last year.
Well, thanks for that, Fox. How did you find that one? He obviously didn't go into a lot of things, but he's very, very honest, like all your coaching staff.
Yeah, they're an honest bunch of guys, and you know, they don't try and, you know, kid us on about anything. They're honest when if things aren't going well on the pitch or players aren't playing well enough, you know, the team's not getting the results. They've never shied away from that. But it's very evident from what he was saying, Ox, that how much of a project it was when they first came in, when he's talking about building a team and a squad for the Scottish game and for the European game, and trying to get them to play in a system that they wanted them to play in, but be able to be flexible and change it when they needed to. Yeah, it was a great interview there, and I did listen to some of the Balogun you know, podcast as well, and they've got huge respect for Michael Beale, as they have the gaffer as well, you know.
Bridge, do you enjoy that?
I think that guy's a fantastic speaker, and you can probably tell that he's the key person in the coaching area altogether. The way he talks about how he sees people, I think he's a fantastic addition. I don't think he wants to be at the front, the same as Gerrard is. I don't think he's got the character for that at the moment. But I'll tell you what, doesn't he speak a lot of sense about football? My God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I maybe missed my calling there. I could have got that job if I thought about
it. You're probably too young, huh?
Aye, I might be a bit more experience. Love it. Right, I've got a question for you. He mentioned about the small steps we've made in the progression. We're not trying to rebuild. Seems to be a buzzword when they came in the door. We made small steps and improved constantly since Gerrard came in the door. Yeah. I've got a challenge for you two panelists who are obviously Rangers connoisseur. Bridgeman is Mr. Rangers. There's nothing he doesn't know about Rangers.
Oh, go away.
Go Bridge.
Right, okay. There was 18 players involved in Stevie G's first competitive game. Yeah,
oh
14
played,
four unplayed, 4 unused substitutes. I'll give you a point for each, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah.
18 players. Yeah? 3 substitutes used, 4 unused players, yeah? I think it's only right we toss a coin, but we'll go with ladies first. Linda.
McGregor.
Yes, one to Linda. Bridge.
Tavernier.
1 each. Linda.
Bolton.
2-1. Bridge.
Flanagan.
2 each. Linda.
Jamie Murphy.
Oh, what a pull. What a pull. Jamie Murphy started, yes. 3-2. Bridge.
Oh, Jings. Jings. I know. Oh, dear. I know, that's me. That's the way I feel as well. Who would it have been? Left back. Centre half. Goldson and whom?
Come on, Bridge, I'm trying to help you here. No, I'm sorry. Next point, Linda.
Was it Halliday left back?
Andy Halliday was an unused sub. 4-2 to
Right.
Linda. Bridgeman.
Now you're trying my memory now, I'll tell you. Any wee bit memory I had. I can't think.
Come on.
No, I can't go. My mind's
Right,
gone.
okay. I'll put you out in your misery. Muller.
Go for it.
Right, okay. Alan McGregor, we got. Connor Goldson. James Tavernier. Nicola Katic.
Katic.
Jonathan Patrick Flanagan. Josh Windass. Ross McCrory. Jamie Murphy. Scott Arfield. Alfredo Morelos.
Alfredo, yeah. And Diaz.
Whistle the tune for you, Budge.
No. What am I like?
Daniel Candias.
Candias, yeah.
Yes, that was the starting 11. Substitutes: Ryan Jack, Ejaria, and Glenn Middleton. Unused substitutes: Jack Alnwick, John Declan Christopher John, Andy Halliday, and Greg Docherty.
That's something else, isn't it? I couldn't remember these people. Couldn't even remember the game, to be honest. Just know the manager was there, that's all I know. The details gone. The fades away into the mist. Unless something beats it out of me, you know. So.
I do remember the game.
Yeah.
It was 2-0.
It was against Bury, wasn't it?
It was against Scoopy in Europe, our first competitive game.
Okay. Sorry, pal.
Yeah. It was 2-0. Was it a Jamie Murphy goal and a penalty?
By James Tavernier, yes.
Yeah.
Right, a bonus point. Bridgeman, I'll give you 10 points if you can name one of the players that get booked.
One of the players that get booked.
Come on,
John
Bridge.
Flanagan.
No, come on, Bridge. One of the players that get booked.
Oh, I could guess that too.
He gets booked all the time. Come on, Bridge.
Centre forward, Bridge.
Oh,
the Columbia
Morelos.
Bridge.
Okay, Morelos. I get what you mean. I'm thinking defence. Sorry, apologies. Centre forward. Well said, by the way. Well said.
Oh dear, that's him beating you now. Do you know who the other player that get booked? It was his mate.
Candias.
Yes. All right, but I think the point you were
there,
trying to make,
well
Linda,
done.
is how
That was
the
a good
squad has developed.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm going to
Sorry,
say now, I can't claim to have won this tie because of that 10-pointer. So don't do it.
It never usually stops you.
Shocker. That's what I'm. Wow, just wow.
Yeah. I think the point is that Linda's making is how the squad has evolved in 6 transfer windows and where we are. We've got a squad valued at millions and tens of millions of pounds now. The quality of the team, the product we're watching. Yeah, so we'll put it out there and asking people if they want to come in and join us. So get yourselves a mute and let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
It's surprising. I mean, obviously, I reckon I was one of them I wouldn't have got. No, I don't think I would have got Jack Alnwick. I don't know why. And even Declan John, I don't think I'd have had him in Gerrard's team.
no.
Andy Halliday, Greg Docherty, Ejaria, Middleton at the start. And I might not have went for Ryan Jack because if he didn't start, maybe I thought he was injured. But it just shows you.
Yeah. And we were talking about Goldson. Who was the other centre half then in that?
Katic,
team?
Katic.
Katic, of course.
Katic. Yeah.
And you even said it. Oh my God, what's the matter with me?
Oh, but aye, the squad
And
really
you know when you
developed.
said that young, what do you call him? The young boy that's come back into the team recently. It was with Hibs.
Middleton.
So he was playing the first one 3 years ago, and he's back in the squad again. Wow, that's amazing. The circle tightens right enough.
Where are we getting? We're 22. What's your 22, Linda, now?
Yeah, it's quite difficult when you think about.
I think it's only 21 because I think Andy Firth always gets in, didn't he?
Don't include his name. Everybody knows it's there.
He's still got the best gig at Ibrox, hasn't he, Box?
That was the job we should have all went for. No Michael Beals.
I know, and Andy's exactly. But it is difficult to even pick whatever it is you're going to be allowed, to have in the games. I'm not sure what the numbers will be this season, but when you think about picking an 11 and then picking a squad in terms of the people that you've got to choose from, I do suspect that some of the guys on the periphery of the squad, they'll probably want to trim that still even further. I know that we've lost George Edmondson this week. And then a couple of the younger guys went out on loan, but there is a big fight for squad places, and the quality is just risen season on season since Gerrard came in, I think.
Here, Linda, I don't think that can be denied, Bridge. I mean, we played decent stuff right at the start. Gerrard had us ticking right along. And when are we going to get the credit for what we've done for Scottish football? All these teams are playing in Europe because of us.
You'll never get it. Never get it.
There was a team, the coefficient killers, as Port Bear calls them. Yeah? There was a team playing in a Champions League qualifier. They wouldn't have been playing it if the Rangers hadn't got so far in Europe for the last 2 years.
Still not playing it.
No.
Unbelievable. No, it doesn't matter what we say. I think anybody who follows Rangers and get Rangers in their heart in any way, shape or form. It doesn't matter what you say. Nobody's going to give Rangers whatever credit they're due for all the work that they've done for Scottish, for the FA. The FA aren't going to compliment us in any way, shape or form. I don't see it anyway. I don't see it. Shocking organisation, but shocking.
It's fact, Linda. The coefficient and the teams are only getting places and so far into the competition is because of what Rangers have achieved. Yeah,
absolutely. And as you said, he really got his going again in Europe from that first season. When you think about, we had to come through the 4 qualifiers, and we got into the group stage, and I know we just missed getting out of the group stage that first season. But we all saw the improvement even back then. And unfortunately, we just couldn't carry that into the league for that year. And that happened, obviously, the second season too. But certainly in Europe, we've seen us, make real progression all the way through. And I know we've got a couple of qualifiers coming up. We've obviously got Malmo. And then if hopefully we get through, it's going to be another step up again, Ox. But this whole Champions League carrot is just unbelievable, and you don't want to look too far ahead, but if we could negotiate through them, it would be an unbelievable achievement for Gerrard, and let's hope that he would get the credit he deserved then,
Yeah. I think a lot of people, Bridgeman, will say that, if you like, the journey's complete when they hear the Champions music at Ibrox again, yeah? Some people think that, huh?
Well, there will be folk that think that, and some in their own mind are going to be right anyway, no matter what. That's Rangers back to where they were 10 years ago. I'm using 10 years loosely here. And that's where we were. We were that type of team that we could go out and look and look the world in the eye and play at European Championship level, European Champions League level. I'm not saying we were ever going to win it, but we could play and play well against the teams, and a lot of the times we actually got through to the whatever group stages and earned some money at it. This time, if we get through into the group stages, we're going to earn quite a lot of money, I think, with the sound of it. So I'm really looking forward to that. We really need to knuckle down. It's not going to be far. It's not going to be long away. But 6 days, my God, It's going to happen. We've got to do it, and we've got to win. We just have got to win. And the manager will take us through. I hope we don't end up like them. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had some decent results in that journey. That the 8 games we had to play. We obviously Scoopy and Ozajic, yeah. And then we put Maribor, a team that had played in the Champions League wonder. You know, It was a fantastic result. And then Ufa with the 9 men, you know.
I remember the Ufa game and watching that, and was it Alfie and Flanagan that got sent off in that game? Right, I think it was maybe...
Well, I'll just check for you. Check. Ufa away. I think you might be right. I know you're a safe bet with Alfie, aren't you?
I think he might have even been before half time. I might be wrong about that.
37 minutes, Alfie gets sent off. He get booked and then he gets sent off at the same time, and then Flanagan double booking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ajaria had scored the goal.
Yeah, it was a fantastic goal with Ajaria. And then, as I say, when Alfie got sent off, I remember in my house there was a few sweary words directed at Alfredo at that point, because I think we were all just getting a wee bit fed up with his indiscipline at that point. And we just thought, is he ever going to change to the extent that we can keep him on the park in these big games? And then obviously, as you say, John Flanagan gets sent off as well. And I think I watched the last 10-15 minutes of the game from behind the couch, Ox. It was nerve-wracking, but it was so much of a relief when they got through. And was that when all the fans turned up at the airport to welcome them back?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think you slipped in for that bridge, didn't you?
Bridge.
I actually did. I'm only kidding. But you know, there were times in the past when that was a thing. People went to the airport, and went to see the Rangers whenever they were away in their battles, and they came back again. And a lot of the times it was all get met at the airport and things like that, and people sitting outside Ibrox, because that's where they would come back to. But those days have gone, because they'll probably go back up to Mulgai rather than Ibrox, but you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful.
If people want to give us a call, remember it's a call-in show. Come in and speak to London Bridge. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972. Get your body in here and talk to us.
Come and join us, see what your thoughts are, see what your hopes, dreams, aspirations are for the new season. And also maybe what your first 11 is. I'm going to put you in the spot, Linda. What's your first 11?
Right. Well, I think the goalkeeper speaks for itself. McGregor will be in goals. I would go with, and this is based on who I think's available in terms of fitness, etc. Tav, right back, Goldson and Hollander. I think he'll go with the trusty two, and I think Barisic will be all right, because I think he's maybe played enough football now. I would go with Hadji, Davis and Lundstrom, and it was difficult to leave Kamara out of that 3, and I've gone with Wright, I've gone with Sakala and Kent up front. That would be my team.
Give me that again. So McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson,
Hollander and Barisic.
Yeah, I think that's most people's defence.
And Davis. My midfield is Hadji, Davis and Lundstrom. And up front, I've gone with Wright. I think he'll start with Sakala and Kent.
Wow. No Glenn Kamara.
I know. That's the difficult one. I've gone with Hadji because I think we might need a wee bit more creativity in there, because I think there'll be big numbers behind the ball. But you could easily have maybe Kamara in there too, but it was very difficult to leave him out.
You put Hadji in your team, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. We'll speak to you soon, all right?
Sorry.
Actually, it's quite amazing how people do it, isn't it? Because to say that you wouldn't play Kamara after the Euros he's had, but you would prefer to have Hadji in, might only be for that particular game.
Yeah.
It's quite incredible. Brave decision.
That's what I'm thinking, Bridge, for that particular game, and I think there'll be slight changes as the games, come this season, and it'll just be horses for courses. I don't think they'll mix it up entirely, but I think we'll see that players will maybe drop in and out of the team. And as I say, it's more about the creativity. But I'll probably be totally wrong. It'll be nothing like that.
It's interesting. I think Hagi might play at the weekend. I do think he might play. I think there's a chance I get your rationale. I don't think we'll need two sitters against Livingston. We need to be more offensive. If you like a packed defence, because I think we pretty much know how they're going to play. Linda up.
Yeah. Do you see Davis and Lundstram being too similar then to be in that same team, Ox?
No, I don't. No. I don't. I think Lundstram gives us something. Gives us something a bit different. I just think that you could have Kamara. You could have Davis, Kamara, Hagi, and then Lundstram coming on at half time, or whenever,
Yeah.
That
would
remember,
make,
we've got another game on Tuesday,
Yeah, that would make sense.
But you can't, as we've known Bridgman in the past, it's very, very difficult to get into Gerrard's head. He always seems to have something different, doesn't he? But he's the tried and trusted. He comes up with something.
Yeah, and I think, well, if you could call it luck sometimes, but seriously, he knows what he's doing. He looks as if he knows what he's doing. He sounds as if he knows what he's doing. And he's got a brilliant coaching squad there. So they know what they're doing too. And surely they're the ones that are going to pick the correct players. We will maybe try to criticise them in some way or other, but I wouldn't try it anymore. I would just let them go on with it and be pleased and proud that they're there doing it. That boy Gerrard, I don't know how much he's worth in a transfer market now. He must, that personal company he's got, it must have been risen. God knows how many percent. What a tremendous performance by him over these last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, how we've progressed, how we've, while we went about our business, we've improved the squad. We were told, what was the famous quote, can you see us now? Well, we can't see them. And we're asking you, the callers, how much pleasure are you taking out the dismantling or to break them, as Bridgman would say, they're broken. That team for across the city. Yeah, once again, as Port Bear calls them, the coefficient killers. I mean, they can make all the excuses they want, but they couldn't beat that team. 2 chances they had at it, and they couldn't beat them once.
Well, Ox, beating Midtjylland isn't for everyone, is it?
No, what did we beat them? What did we beat them?
I think it was 7-3 in aggregate.
4-2 and 3-1, is that right?
Yes, and I think they were a much better team then.
Yeah, when was that? Was that to get into the group stages the second season, was it?
No, was it not the third round, the third qualifier, and after that, who was it? Was it Warsaw?
It was Warsaw. It was St Joseph, Nicholton, Midtjylland. 4-2, we beat them away with goals from Alfie, Aribo.
Did Katic get a goal that night
one,
too?
yes, yeah. And Scotty Arfield. Was that a tremendous break?
Yeah, it was. It was a
right.
brilliant.
I'll give you a bonus point. There was 4 players get booked that night. A bonus point for the first one, Bridge.
Katic.
Well done, Bridge. Well done.
And then Morelos.
You get booked as well. And Aribo and Ryan Jack. But that was a great performance. Obviously, won 1-0 at half time, and won the game 4-2 away from home, and then 3-1 at Ibrox. So there you go.
Yeah, it can be done.
Yep. What did you make of the news, Linda, of George Edmondson? We believe it's roughly £1 million we got for him. Yeah, obviously after wage bill, good bit of business.
Yeah, I think so, and I think when he first came into the club, we all thought he was going to be one for the future. He had quite a good rapport with the fans, and a lot of the fans did like him. I just think it was a bit unfortunate what happened to him last season, Ox, and hopefully he's not remembered for just the COVID breach, etc. But yeah, it's a good bit of business. I believe, was it maybe 600k we paid for him, so we've actually made a profit. But I think the days of our players going out kind of on the cheap or for nothing are gone, because I think Ross Wilson's, really on the ball there.
Here.
Do you think that Edmondson? I would have thought at some point Edmondson would have been became a really good centre half, and I don't understand how them across the city got £15 million for Ajer. I don't understand that at all. If you're looking at the marketplace,
I don't believe it.
Sorry?
I don't believe it.
Neither do I.
We'll see if it shows up in the balance sheet. Yeah. What I will say is, obviously, that Ajer is arguably one of their best players. He's also an internationalist. Edmondson, potential, and I don't think it came out of him. He's hardly played in the last couple of years. Anyway, we've been joined by Andrew from Leeds. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, Linda.
Hi, Andy.
Good evening, Andy.
All well, I take it.
Yes, mate. What's on your mind?
I just think it's imperative that we hit the right frame of mind right from the half there. I think while they're down at the minute in time, I think we've got to put the armour on them, get us, come out fighting. Hopefully, they drop a couple of points along the way, and we just keep accumulating and laying it on them. The more we can get in front as quick as we can, it puts more pressure on them. That's what I'm looking for the start there on Saturday.
I'm going to tell you something. See Saturday's game? That's the biggest game of the season so far, Bridgman.
Saturday's game is the biggest game of the season. There you go. The biggest game of the season. Everything's riding on this. There's half of the world is waiting on us falling. There you go.
Keep it going. I'm in your camp, Andy. I'm in your camp, mate. This is the time. You don't let up. You win more games. We accumulate points. We beat them. And the pressure will just mount and mount and mount, yeah?
Yeah, you can see it coming. He's got to look like he don't want to be there. And
who you mean, Joe Mango?
Aye, that's the one, yeah. I think he's got at least 10 different nicknames in there, hasn't he? I mean, he's going to the City of Hearts on Sunday. Somebody needs to tell him it's Saturday. If he turns up on Sunday, he'll be docked 3 points, won't he, for not turning up? So, that's the kind of guy we've got there, right enough.
I think you've got to be fair there, because he knows he'll be playing on Thursday nights now, so all his games are going to be Sunday.
Aye, well, they're not through yet, are they? So
no.
They should be right enough. I mean, that must be the bottom teams that they're playing to qualify for that.
No, that's the team that finished just behind the team that beat them 8-2 in aggregate last year in their own league.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was sort of about them. I mean, personally myself,
is it time for us to listen? We've had it tight. The Bears have had it tight, mate, and we should be enjoying this, because long may it continue, and he'll slap it in them. Karma. It's karma, mate.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree with that, but also, you know what they're like. Then they'll galvanise somewhere down the line, and as bad as they are, like they won't. I don't want to get too carried away. I know they get pumped out of that last night, right enough, but we still got to negotiate Malmo first and make sure we get that next tie before we start, really kicking off. It's great seeing them down there and the suffering that we've had to put up with. That's fantastic, but we must keep a level head here. I mean, we've got to make sure that we get through this game. So in mind, my team on Saturday would be, I'm going to go for the Shagger. I'm having Tavernier out and putting Patterson in at right back. Two central defenders is Golston and Biggie Lander. Barisic on the left. In the middle, I'm going to go for Lumsden, Kamara and Davis. And up top, I'm going right on one side, Kent on the other. Now, I'd like to have picked Hatton, but I like that boy's, I'm going to call him Sashon from now on. So I'd like him in the middle. But I would have liked to put Hatton in there, with goal scoring. I think his chance.
You're telling me you would have dropped John Gregg for Ali Dawson?
We're not talking about John Gregg and Ali Dawson. I'm telling you now, that's, look, bear in mind, I'm putting Patterson in there, bear in mind.
Ask you that. Just answer the question. You're telling me you'd have dropped John Gregg for Ali Dawson?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, all right.
Well, who you acclimatising John Gregg and Ali Dawson with? Patterson and Tavernier?
Yes, one's a skipper and one's the up-and-coming player.
All right, well, I'm still picking Patterson. Right enough, and that, and my reasoning for that, we've got a big European game on the Tuesday night. We don't need to put all the big guns out. That Tuesday night game, you know, again, if we're wanting to get this money and get in there, that's what we've got to do. Anyway, I'm sticking to my guns. I'm having Patterson every game with Ad Malloy. There you go.
You're the first one to pick Patterson this week.
Aye, well, there you go then.
Nobody else. And, well, it's well known that you don't know a lot about football, so there we go.
That's okay, that's all right. I've followed him enough, though. Don't worry about that. He's the future.
Listen,
at the end of the day, you know, he's the future.
Patterson will get in our team. I just don't think it's quite yet. I think Tab's a big object in his way. He'll get his chance. I think that Tab will play Saturday. I think you never know, Patterson might get half an hour if things go well. I think Tab will play again on Tuesday. Linda?
Yeah, I would agree. Andy, I don't think I would worry too much if Patterson was in, to be honest with you. I think he's got all the talent. I think he would be able to handle it. And I think even in the short space of time that we've seen him, I think he's improved even more. When he came on for Scotland in the Euros, he didn't look out of place. He played well in the friendly that he appeared in as well, and he's done well for Rangers when we saw him at the end of last season. So I wouldn't have a difficulty with him if he did start, but I don't think he will. I think, obviously, as Ock said, Tav's the captain, and I think he'll start, and he'll probably start most of the games until he decides maybe just to give Patterson a chance. But that's the biggest compliment I could pay Patterson, is that if he did start on Saturday, I wouldn't be as concerned as I maybe would have been this time last season.
Yeah, what I'm saying, Linda, is though I'm talking about this game on Saturday with a game in mind for Tuesday, which is a big game. And we were asking for the team on Saturday, weren't we? I'm not about long term. It's pretty obvious that Tavernier will play long term.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it for Saturday because, like, whether we like it or not, for me, first and foremost, it's winning that league. But Gerrard likes Europe. So I'm trying to think on his lines and thinking, well, wait a minute, big game. Patterson can do a job for me with that team. That should get me over the line on Saturday. That's what I'm thinking.
All right. Well, Andy's put it out there. Who will start? Patterson or Tav? Good point, isn't it, Bridge? Oh, he's not with us, Linda. It is a talking point, but
I'm with you. Sorry, pal.
When the show finishes at 10, you need to be quicker.
I would start Tav, to be honest. But Patterson will be there at some point, just like Andy said.
Aye, Patterson's the up and coming. He's the pretender to the throne, Andy. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
He's got assets that Tav's not got. I genuinely think he's quicker than Tav. Yeah.
Compared to Shy.
Yeah, definitely better than Tav and Borna together. Yeah. But I don't think he's as good a player yet as Tavernier.
No, I'm not saying he's as good a player, but I mean, my fear with Patterson is, as we said before, I don't want that boy's got to figure quite a lot because the team's down there that will come and take him. We don't want him getting frustrated because at the end of the day, going forward, he is part of the Glasgow Rangers football team. And that's my only worry with Patterson. I don't think he'd go for the simple fact that he was really upset when the COVID thing came about. So I think he wouldn't ruffle any feathers this year, and he will get a certain amount of games. But I get that Tavernier's going to play. I'm not stupid in that.
No, but I get your rationale. You think you're trying to protect and get. You think that we should beat Livingston with anybody in my squad pretty much on the park. Is that the point you're making?
That's because obviously with the fact that he put so much stall into Europe, there's Steven Gerrard. it wouldn't surprise me. We can never second guess him anyway, but it wouldn't surprise me, with a European game, coming so close on the Tuesday, that he might think, oh, well, I'll get enough here with Patterson at right back. I'll save my captain for, Malmo. That's just my reason on that particular game.
Okay. Aye. Well, we'll see. We'll know by about 12:30 on Saturday. It'll be interesting. We'll see what the team's going to be. But listen, I hope Patterson learns from Tav, and I hope Patterson develops in and becomes a number one by a distance. We have a superstar in our hands,
Yeah.
Wonder.
Yeah, it's just great to see somebody coming through from the youth system, isn't it? And obviously the wee boy Kelly, we've seen quite a bit of him in pre-season. He looks to be, a good player and a good prospect. But I agree with Andy in the fact that, you wouldn't like to see Patterson just sitting in the bench for most of the season. I think he's at an age where he needs to play. Is there a possibility that he can still play in some of the B team games, or is that not a possibility for Patterson, even if it's just to keep his game sharpness up?
I don't know. Listen, Linda, we're going to be playing Saturday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to have big ties. There's going to be a lot of football getting played. League Cup ties. I think Patterson will get his chance.
Yeah, he'll get more time this season probably than he did last, because I do think that Gerrard trusts him more, and I think we do as a fan base as well. And when he comes on, he doesn't look out of place. And as I said earlier, I just think I've seen an improvement in him just over the last period of time that we've actually seen him play. So yeah, I think you're right. There is going to be a lot of games, and who knows, maybe the young guy Kelly will fill in at times for Stephen Davis as well, just to see what he's got about him.
I've enjoyed watching that boy play. I'm not going to say he's a kid anymore, and he's not a kid as such, but I've enjoyed him. I think he's potentially to make a good living out the game. He needs a bit of luck. That midfield there is hard to get into. And maybe he's in a similar situation, maybe to Patterson, Linda, then Andy.
Yeah, definitely. And I've heard people saying in social media that maybe the boy Kelly might go out on loan again. I think he had a good spell last season. Was it Ross County he played for? But I don't know. I just think that he might go with just keeping. Obviously, Patterson won't go out on loan, but he might keep Kelly too. He likes the idea as well that bringing the youngsters through if they show the right attitude and the right ability. And he always said he would give them a chance if they were good enough. So I suspect that they two will remain around the squad and definitely feature in the weeks ahead, I think.
Andy?
I totally agree there. I mean, Patterson, Patterson, I've got him on my brain. Kelly, the time for him is not to be going out on loan now. He needs bringing into the first team squad, at least getting on the bench and coming on for bits and bats, picking up a wee bit.
It's going to be more difficult, Andy. We've only got 3 substitutes, back to 3 substitutes.
I said that to Shugs today. I thought it went back to that. But no, I think, the year out there he had up at Ross County there, I think it's done him a world of good. And, he didn't look out of place in any of them, pre-seasons, did he? So I would like to see him stay and fight. I know that he could get frustrated, right? I'd like to see him fill out a wee bit more. But no, I think we've got a player on we're in. And that's what we're striving to do. That's what Stephen Gerrard tells us he wants to do. He wants to bring them through. So, keep him there. Now, I get that players have got to go out on loan. But when you get some guy that looks like he can play and looks like he fit in there well, I don't see the point of sending him out alone. Get him in there, get him in the first squad, and let's see if we can break his way through, because there will be chances. If we get into the Champions League, get into the Euro League, we're going to be playing plenty of games. There's going to be injuries, suspensions. So sometimes strange things happen in football. You get your chance, and I genuinely believe on the Gerrard, Patterson and Kelly, if they come into the team for any length of time through injuries or suspensions and they started playing well, I don't think Gerrard would take them out. I think he's pretty loyal to who's got the jersey at the time, and he's mentioned that himself. Prove that he can stay in that jersey, and you'll be in my team. So I'm good for Kelly staying. I don't want to see him go out.
I'm surprised you're backing a guy called Kelly, but that's another subject.
I know that's my old man would be turning right wherever he is right enough. It's, I've got enough with it. Got enough with that other banger.
I was thinking about AK.
Aye, well, I know it's like the big banger keeps saying that I'll be getting the name on the back of my shirt if it comes good right enough. But aye, right.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting. But I tell you what, they both need, Linda. They just need a bit of luck.
Yeah, definitely. And the luck could be, and it could be the fact that they might get in, if, as you said, there might be an injury and it then creates a space and they get in and as Andy says, they retain it if they actually play well. I mean, you don't want anybody to get injured, but you just don't know how the season's going to pan out. But it's just really good to see two young boys, as I said, from the youth system breaking through into the squad, because there's been quite a long time when we just wondered what was happening over there in terms of the development, and there was a lot of money put into youth football at Ibrox, but we're starting to see a wee bit of joy from that now, Ox. But it'll be interesting to see how it pans out, because you do want them to still get quite a bit of football just to keep their development going.
I think that's a good point. Sometimes your luck is somebody else's bad luck.
Yeah.
But that's just the nature of the game. It's a cruel game sometimes, Andy.
Well, it certainly is, right enough. Like, we're all on the same page with the team. You listen to that guy that you've had on there, early doors there. The enthusiasm he's got for it, and they're installing it into the players. Like I say, you were talking about Balogun, what he thinks about him and all that. So everything's good. Just come out on Saturday. He's a good result, good steady performance, and we're off and running because, as we said, this is the time to get at them. They're in trouble just at this moment in time. As I said, I don't get too carried away. I've seen them before. You think they're down and out, and then they bounce back. So all it is that we keep making sure that we've got the boot on their throat. They can't do nothing about it. It's like last year, even though they'd gone in a run, they couldn't do it. Rangers didn't get beat. And if Rangers can do the majority of what they did last season, and there'll be no problem. As I said, if we only lose 4 games a season, we'll win the league. That's how you can lose 4 and win the league. Hopefully we don't, but we ain't going to better what we did last season league-wise. We can do, I suppose, we turn the draws into wins, but I can't see us going. And the big target there now, come Saturday, with Livingston and going fourth. We're still going to be wanting the first team to beat the Rangers, because we're not been beaten for a long time in the league. So that target's on. It's become even harder now,
Yeah. Get yourself some mute, because we're going to have a tune.
We love you, Rangers, we do. We love you, Rangers, we do. We love you, Rangers, we do. Oh, Rangers, we love you. Steve and Jada came to Ibrox along with Gary Mack, and they were set the challenge to bring the title back. TDT arrived, TD ended with let's go, and never sniff it off to see the league flags finally won. We love you, Rangers, we do. We love you, Rangers, we do. We love you, Rangers, we do. Oh, Rangers, we love you. We had McGregor, Taven, Golson and Bournemouth happy back. Alfie can't be feeding the fall and attack. Davis, Jack, Kamara, Arthur, Hatchie came alive. With Hamilton and Balogun, they won us 55. We love you, Rangers, we do. We love you, Rangers, we do. We love you, Rangers, we do. Oh, Rangers, we love you. Not forgetting Jory boys, name we couldn't fit. Like Edmondson, Stuart Barker, Renewed on his bit. McLaughlin, Jones and Bassey, Patterson's doing good. Though Nico Cattish didn't please, Rangers through. We love you, Rangers, we do. We love you, Rangers, we do. We love you, Rangers, we do. Oh, Rangers, we love you. Dave King and the Three Bears deserve some special praise. They fought and won the battles to bring these 40 days. Too many more to mention. They gave us everything. Every day to let the world can celebrate and sing. We love you Rangers, we do. We love you Rangers, we do. We love you Rangers, we do. Oh Rangers, we love you. We love you Rangers, we do. We love you Rangers, we do. We love you Rangers, we do. Oh Rangers, we love you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's Let's Hear From You.
Do you enjoy that, Bridge?
Rangers, we do. We love you. And so we do, don't we? We all love Rangers, and that's the truth.
Before that, Jodie Pollock came along, you were the best singer on here.
I wasn't. No, well, I might have been. Tell a lie. I might have been.
You're better than that, James, in Tennessee anyway, weren't you? Well, we've been joined by a caller, and it is the original triangle player, the one and only Ulster Bear. How are we doing, Ulster?
Big Ulster.
Oh, hello, how are you? Is everyone keeping well?
How are you doing, big man? How's the family? How are you?
All good, mate. The girls are keeping well, so I can't complain, mate. Everything's going well for me. So it is, especially with the Rangers doing well, it makes it even better. So all good.
You must have enjoyed the record temperatures last week, big man.
Northern Ireland hasn't seen weather like this ever, to be honest, mate. But I'm a lot of people were complaining, but I wasn't one of them because we don't get it often, so it was great. But back to the rainy Ulster again.
Back to normal.
Back to normal, mate.
Right, okay, mate. Listen, it's great to hear from you. Always enjoyed you on the show. Always enjoyed your company. What's on your mind, big man?
No, I just thought I'd give you a wee ring in and see how you've been going. You know, I've been off that long now. I've obviously been listening to the shows and stuff, so it's just took me a while to get the guts to come back on again. And so here I am. But I'm just so happy that we've been on the show a long time ago. You know what it was like. Rangers were in a bad place.
Oh.
We just couldn't get a foothold. It was bad times, but we're total different. Everything's different now. We're back to where we belong at the top of Scottish football, the Kings of Scotland again, and it's just amazing. And I'm sure everybody's happy, like myself. It's just fantastic. And Champions League and all, hopefully coming back to the Ibrox, and it's just going to be brilliant. Brilliant.
Did you see this coming, big man? Did you see it when Gerrard walked in the door?
It was more hope than anything, but because we'd seen so many false dawns before, Ox, you know, I was wondering for a while, would we ever get back there where we belong? But it's been a great journey, and long may it continue, you know. But you know yourself, there was times or many years ago down the line, we just didn't think it was ever going to happen. We didn't even think we were going to have a club again, never mind be back in the top division and winning the league. But we are where we are, mate, and I think that's due to the supporters and everybody listening, because if it wasn't for us guys and girls putting our money in and sticking through it to the better end, you know, Rangers wouldn't be where we are today. So the fans have to take most of the credit for that, as well as Gerrard and his team.
And Dave Bisgrove, who sold every part of our strip, mate.
True.
Obviously, no spoke to you for a while. Last season, what was your highlights, mate? I know it seems a long time ago.
I think definitely the Old Firm games, because we set our marker in the first one, and you know, away from home, it's been a wee bit iffy in certain places as well. You know, like your Motherwells and Kilmarnocks, and we've struggled. But they're the games at the end of the day. I think that wins you or loses you the league, and I think our consistency the whole way through was the big thing for us. And once we got going, no stopping us, you know. And I just think there was so many highlights, but definitely winning the league obviously was the most important thing. But there was so many. Everything was just amazing about it, to be honest, from start to finish. We hadn't lost a league game, you know. So I just think the whole journey of the season from start to finish, the highlight. But especially seeing the young birds who haven't seen Rangers winning leagues or maybe not old enough to remember us winning leagues, I think seeing the joy in their faces and their fathers' faces looking at their sons and daughters going, this is where we are, this is the real Rangers, and they're going to enjoy some time now with us, and it's good to see for the young, especially young birds.
And I know you were over for the trophy day, and you bumped into a certain
I did indeed. I couldn't help myself. I had to come over, We didn't get over to Ibrox, obviously, to watch any games, and I knew we weren't going to get into Ibrox, obviously, to watch the game on that day, but I needed to be close to Ibrox because that's my true home, as you know, like us all, and I just wanted to be there, and the day was absolutely fantastic from start to finish, and there was a few tears, I think, between us all on the day, but it was just an amazing feeling, and yeah, brilliant, loved it.
There was a few tears the last time I was out with you when Fox got that round in the Savoy.
I know. A poor man. Like, I felt sorry for him, only for a while.
Didn't he?
I know.
Brilliant to hear for you, big man. Brilliant to hear you. I'm really glad that the girls are doing well, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, they're doing really well. They're getting a lot taller now, but yeah, they're great girls, and they're following cheekier, but it's even good for them. They were in the shed, we're watching the scum game, should I say, because we're all anticipating them getting that draw, for us to win the league, and the girls were here, and we're all hugging each other, and it's just and they're wee barrettes now, which is great. I'm glad to see they're following in the footsteps that way.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But you sit there, mate, and we're going to get some more callers on, yeah?
Yep.
I'll let Bridge say hello to you. Bridge, man, in you come.
How we doing, big man? You all right?
Oh.
You hear me all right, pal?
Yes, I'm doing very well, Bridge. It's great to hear you from me again, mate. I've been listening in. But it's great to get talking to you again, and I hope you're keeping well as well. Bridge, I've seen a wee picture with you there. I think you were on the Rangers radio a couple of days ago. You and a wee bear you got a wee picture with. It was good to see you. You're looking very well, big man.
That was Stevie for the drums, boy.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. I was
he takes his looks for his mother. Young Jamie does.
Yeah, we're a real bear, that wee boy. A real bear. It was nice to see Big Stevie and his son. We went up to see the memorial for the young Robert Mulholland, which is Big Stevie does that, organises a match every year to commemorate it, so there's a lot of work there.
Anybody wants to book Bridge, just let us know. 01413561972. We rent them out now. Anyway, we've been joined by Amanda. Evening, Amanda.
Good evening, all. Bridge, I'll rent you for a month or two, right?
We don't mean that.
Don't tell Mrs. Bridge, though. Bridge, I love you, really. Just don't you listen to them. Just ignore them, right?
They're all fuckers, by the way.
Nah, Linda's no. Oxdale might be, but Linda's no.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, how are you? No, I was just listening to the conversation, and I was just thinking about the times, we've all had times going to the stadium, walking to the stadium and that, and the laughs that we used to have. And there was one time we were at Motherwell at a game at Firth Park, and the police horse decided to take a wee fancy to my scarf, right? So the horse proceeded to chew the tassels at the end of my scarf and suck them in. So the next thing, I turned round and there was Davy Cooper. Hi, you leave her scarf alone, and pulled my scarf out the horse's mouth. But it's the things you remember from going to Ibrox and that, like the atmosphere at Ibrox. Just the sheer volume of noise for Ibrox on a Saturday when it's full, do you know what I mean? It's just like, as I said last night, the goosebumps just come over you, don't they, really? But no, I'm really looking forward to the new season, and I'm really looking forward to more calls into Rangers Radio. But as I say...
Is it for domestic shows, or you want them for Rangers, Bridgeman?
Well, I don't know. What's he good at?
It's a good question, actually, Amanda.
Don't answer that. We're live on air. Please don't answer that.
Mrs. says I'm useless.
Oh, no, I don't believe that for a minute, Bridge.
Nobody's arguing with you, Bridge.
Silence is golden, as you say, innit? My dad's asking, has anybody got a ticket for Saturday yet?
Don't mention it.
I've not got one, he's not got one, my nephew's not got one. Anyway, that's life, isn't it?
Aye.
So, as I say, I am looking forward to the new season. As I say, once we get back into the stadium and that,
Are we going to win the league, Amanda?
I'm not saying that now, but I hope so. I hope so. You know, I hope we're going to have a good season again. You know, we can only take it for game one and then see where it goes from there. You know, but I hope so. I hope we have a good season again. As I say, I'm just desperate to get back to Ibrox, period, and that's it. Mm-hmm. I've just missed the fellow supporters and the camaraderie and the atmosphere, the match day. I've just missed it all. But anyway, I'll let you go and get more callers in. But as I say, I'm just buzzing for the new season, really. You know.
Yeah, brilliant. Everybody's really looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. Maybe a wee bit nervous as we always are with qualifying games for the Champions League, but we're looking forward to Livingston.
Aye, that's it. Well, listen, you have a good night. Night, Linda. Night, Bridgeman.
Good night, Amanda.
Good night.
I'll speak to you later. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Amanda.
Right, that's your first booking for a month, Bridge. I've only got another 11 months to fill up, and that'll be you.
Oh, go, Bridge.
This could be quite lucrative. I can see he's making a few quid with this, Bridge. Right, okay.
I'm telling you.
Ulster, and then we'll go to Andy with obviously fans back in the stadium. Will it bring that different type of pressure? Ulster, then Andy.
Well, I'm hoping not. You know, I'm hoping it actually makes us a better, even better team. You know, just because the supporters bouncing about. You know, but you know what Ibrox is like, mate. It'll be back to normal pretty soon. You know, one bad pass and fans can get on your back. But it's like anything. You know, if they play like they played last season, the fans will be fully up for it. And I think everyone's excited to get back in again. So hopefully that actually gives them that extra 10% and sees us kicking on this season. But I'm really confident. I think it's going to be a cracking season for us this year in all fronts. And I think the fans will definitely bring that edge to that we were missing a wee bit just because, you know, it's just not the same with the fans there, is it really, Ox?
No. If we've learnt anything in the last 18 months, Andy, sport's nothing without fans, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you'd like to think that the time we've been away, like, we might be a wee bit more patient. If they do make the odd bad pass, Liverpool Wall's another matter. You know, the way the Rangers fans are, you can never say, can you, really, you know. But, no, I think, and some of the players, I'd like to think that they've not played in front of the crowds are going to be buzzing for it as well and want to go out and perform for the fans. And it's a collective between the fans and the players. And we all get together and move forward in the one way to try and achieve what we want to achieve at the end of the season. Obviously, retaining the league, I'd like to treble, but, you know, if we could get a double, and like you said the other night, getting to that Champions League, I think the fans will be, like, well, we're always behind them, even though we're critical at times, but, you know, we can get the fans, if they can get us on side with the way they're playing and come out with the right attitude, then, you know, if the odd mistake, we might just let it go by and just get behind them instead of getting on the backs at times. Because we're all critical at times that way, aren't we? I mean, I used to be terrible when I was at the games of the one down, so I know myself.
You're bad enough on here, you murder.
I'm quite good. I'm calm here at night, like, you know what I mean? So it's good. It's good to hear Ulster, by the way. I hope he's doing well and all that, right enough, you know. Yeah.
Yep.
Great to hear him. Like, he used to be very regular on the Rangers radio. Always had good points. Stuck by us when we were on the dark times, didn't we? You know, and always remember good points. You know, so yeah, great to hear him.
That's when the show was hard, Ulster. When we didn't have a decent side, mate. It was difficult, wasn't it? Oh, I lost Big Ulster.
Oh, sorry, mate. I was on mute there. I don't know. I was typical me doing a bridge man there. No, I'm just saying if Rangers have a poor season this season, everybody will be on my back saying it's my fault.
Yeah, maybe. 9 years ago today, Linda. 9 years ago today, we were playing at the Hedge at Brecon.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? 9 years ago, and it's been a really difficult 9 years since, Ox, isn't it? And who would have thought we would have been back where we are and back where we belong? But I just think in terms of the fans getting back in, I think we'll just be grateful to be there for the first few weeks, maybe the first couple of months anyway. But as Ulster says, it does bring its own pressure for players. But I think they'll rise to it. And as you say, sport is all about the fans, and I just think they'll totally embrace it, and it'll make them play even better. I'm hoping that's going to be the case anyway.
You're right. Ulster, Fox asked me to raise a point, and I raised it briefly at the start of the show. It's about the enjoyment we should take for what's happening at the other side of the city. It's not something we usually discuss on here because we just like their pain. Yeah, but have they employed somebody that's their Kachina, and long may it continue? Big Ulster?
Yeah, see, to be honest with you, I think that, they'll probably go through what we obviously went through. That you're trying to get a new manager in, their club's in disarray, their board's all over the place. They didn't get the man that they wanted, and they've obviously put somebody else in pretty late on. I don't think he'll last too long, that's just my opinion. But yeah, enjoy it. We'll have to remember, no matter how bad things get there, and I know we won't feel sorry for them, but always remember what they've done and how much they lauded it over us in them times, and we need to be doing the same back. I just think Rangers now are in such a great place, and I can't see us being caught. We've got everything in place. We've got great substitutes in the bench as well to come on. We literally have two full 11s there you could play and have full confidence in, and they're in total disarray at the minute, and I'm loving every second of it, and long may it continue. And hopefully in the weekend here, with the return of Hearts, hopefully that's where you see them dropping their first points of the season and add a wee bit more pain on them from the beginning.
Long may it continue. Bridgeman, one of your favourites today, one of your favourite journalists, Tom English, said that Rangers' second team would beat them.
Aye, well, I have to say this, and I hope that everybody is listening, and no offence to anyone, Tom English doesn't know anything about Rangers, and long may that last, because the man's just shocking. I'm not kidding, no, just shocking. He just wants to say something about Rangers so that somebody will jump on his side, that's all it is. And that's a lot of rubbish as well. The Rangers B team wouldn't beat Celtic, that's for sure.
No, he was talking about we'll get 22 players and they've not got a
Yes, I know what he means. It's all rubbish. He just wants... They're not talking about they're not positives coming out. Nobody's actually saying anything bad about Rangers because there's nothing to say. It's just there's nothing bad to say. So it's only badness coming out. Sorry guys, that's the way I feel about it. Apologies.
I know you're a big fan of Tom English, yeah?
You're right. Same as all the guys in the BBC, truth be told.
What do you think, Ulster and Linda? What do you think that Stevie G will be trying to? How important do you think this first month of the season will be? Potentially 4 European games coming. We're right quite early into the season. Big matches, and then we've got every game in the league's big. Ulster, what's his priority?
Yeah, I think it's say we've got the squad there to attack on all fronts, and I think his priority will be obviously this game at the start of the season, the first league match against Livy. And then we just sort of kick on from there. So hopefully we'll have a good performance and drub them. Let's wait and see. But I'm hoping that we just get a really good start to the season. I think priority for George this year will just be in the league. Obviously, that's your bread and butter. But the Champions League brings revenue for us that's just incredible. And it's the only sort of place that we can probably get the big mega bucks and try and compete again. So if we can get through this Champions League and see where we can go from there. But I definitely think it'll be like everything. 56 is the priority, and Champions League will just be a big added bonus for us. But hopefully we can do well in that as well.
I think we're favourites to beat Malmo, big man. But then we'll see who we get. We'll know on Monday. We'll know by Monday. Yeah. if we get through, who we'll get.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident of the team, to go and take on Malmo, and wherever we go after that, we'll wait and see. But we've played some quality teams the last few years in Europe, especially the three big clubs in Portugal, Benfica, Porto, Braga. We've played them all, and we've matched them. So I don't think we should be fearing anybody, to be honest.
Yeah, Linda, it is a big time of the season so early, isn't it?
Yeah, and it just seems to be like that every year now, doesn't it? With these years, and obviously, as Ulster says, we want to make a good start to the league. I mean, the Livingston, it's never an easy game against them, Ox. I mean, I think we won 3 of the league games and drew 1 last year. But they were all, there wasn't any sort of a big wins as such. So it's always a tough game against them. But probably by the end of the first month, we're talking about the end of August, I think that's the first Old Firm game. If we can go into that having won all our league games and qualified for the Champions League group stage, I think we would be absolutely in dreamland if that happened, and you would take that in a minute. But the priority this season is the league, because you've got that guaranteed Champions League spot for next season. But just one game at a time, and he does set them sort of wee mini targets, I think, within a season. But imperative that we get off to a good start on Saturday, I think.
Yeah. Aye. 3 points is 3 points, Andy, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Linda's just said it right. What I was going to say there, right? If I think he prioritises every game, he'll have one eye definitely on the Malmo game, but we should have enough there. Whatever team we put out there to get off to the right start, and I've got a sneaking feeling if Hearts keep them tight for an hour, they could end up dropping a couple of points there. So that would be an absolute great day, as getting a win and then dropping a couple. That sets you up nicely. I think they'll win about 3 or 4-0 on Saturday. So that'll set us off, and then we can go over to Malmo and get a result there, and off we go. Then we're running, aren't we? He wants to win every game he goes in, and he's got a plan there now, and I think he's pretty sure. There's no point at all as not winning that league after what we've done to get the coefficient up for ourselves. I'm not bothered about anybody else in Scotland, but to not win that league would be criminal. After what we've got with Selling, to walk straight into the Champions League, never win champions. We must win that league. That's got to be the ultimate goal for this season.
I see Scott Brown's back to his best, killing the coefficient tonight. They lost 2-0.
Brilliant. Can't help himself, that guy, though, can he? What was it? He made a statement there. He said he loves a 5-1. We might get a couple of them up for Rangers this year as well.
Aye.
That's bad news, isn't it? Terrible. Just tragic.
Somebody has to go and get Fox out. He's too much time in his hands.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Go on then, Bridge.
Something's rattling my head. My memory's shot to pieces. I'm sure I was at the last time we played Malmo at Ibrox.
10 years ago. 10 years ago.
10 years ago, right? 2011.
Alan McCoskey just took over, yeah.
Right. 2011-12, we could beat 1-0.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then we get 2 players sent off over there, didn't we? Whittaker got sent off over Coaston. Yeah, over Coaston. Yeah, I think Jelavic had scored for memory, Linda, and then we blew it. And as they say, that money never came in, and the rest is history, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, Oaks, after that, it was went on to have a period of time that we'd rather forget. But change days now, and I think, as we said earlier, we've got confidence that we can go on, and we're not going to disrespect them, because I think this team that we've got just now, they've got a lot of confidence in their own ability, but they don't disrespect their opponents, and I don't think they'll be complacent. And he's got a brilliant 100% record, hasn't he, in qualifiers? I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think he's lost one. So we want that to continue, but we'll give them respect, and he'll put out the best team possible for that game, and let's hope we can get through, and we'll just need to see who we get in the actual play match.
Well, no, I think the draw's Monday at 11 o'clock, Linda.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, and there's a few big names we could get. You don't want to look too far ahead, but there is some, teams in there that, that
Borussia Mönchengladbach, can it? They're a big name.
How many letters was that? But we'll see. We'll see.
Big Ulster, putting you in the spot. You're Stevie G, and I want your team for Saturday, big man.
So hard is it these days to pick a team, isn't it? There's that many in the squad, good players, but I think I'll go for McGregor and Nets. That's an obvious one. Big Highlander and Goldson at centre backs, Barisic, Tavernier. I know everybody's saying about Patterson, and he'll definitely get his chances through the season, no doubt about it. He's quality, but I think definitely he'll start with Tav for the first game, in my opinion. Davis, Kamara, Lundstrom in the midfield, and I think I would go for Kent, Sakala and Wright for the forward three for the first match as well. But I think Wright, he's really impressed me. There's something about him. I think he's going to be an amazing player for us, to be honest. And being Scottish as well, it's good to have that, a homegrown Scottish player in the team as well. So I think he's going to be a wee star for us, definitely.
Only time will tell, mate. Only time will tell. But a lot of pace in that team. Wonder.
Yeah, there is, and I agree with Ulster about Scott Wright. I don't know if you agree as well, Ulster, but he looks as if he's bulked up a wee bit, and they've given him a sort of training plan over the summer. He's clearly been working on that. I think he's positive, he's been direct, and he looks as if he's getting more kind of used to how we're playing in the system in terms of the tracking back and the press. But I would agree with you. I think he's going to be a really good player for us this season.
Yeah, I agree with that. You've noticed that he's bulked up, and that's what you need as well. Because obviously, when you're playing in the Scottish division, you need that, because you can be pushed off the ball pretty easily. So, I think he's come back, and it's like anything too. It was going to take him a while. First season, there he came in late on this season, and he was never going to be straight in the team. We need to learn the systems, as you said. But looking at him in pre-season, he looks like he's a Rangers player now. He really fits in there.
Yeah.
So hopefully he does. Hopefully he does the business. But I think he will. There's just something about him.
It's interesting, and I mean, there's no Morelos, there's no Roof, there's no Hadji in that 11, there's no Aribo, Scotty Arfield. And we could go on, we're in a good place, big man. We're in a good place, but we've just got to keep going. 3 points is 3 points.
Yeah, 100%, Knox. And that's what their problem was, a few seasons ago. We had a decent 11, but any time we were in a sticky situation, we didn't have the players on the bench with the quality to come on and change the game, but now we have that in every single position in the park. And that's credit to Gerrard and his staff, for bringing the players in.
Who's been the top man for you? Who's the main man in the team?
Me and man, the team. Oh, it's so hard to tell. There's been not many, but probably for me, McGregor. And I know people have been saying, as a goalkeeper, with winning leagues and stuff, you don't normally say about your goalkeeper, but yeah, definitely for me, McGregor's just been absolutely magnificent, and some of the saves he's putting off, it's you just don't know when that guy just ages like a fine wine for me, and I think he's just fantastic, and he's worth so many points. Just at least 15 points a season, that guy is. And I think he's definitely the main man, in my opinion.
All right. He's happy-go-lucky on the pitch, your Alan McGregor Linder, isn't he?
There's a few people had some choice words from McGregor. I don't think he'll ever change, and sometimes I think we all want him to calm down a wee bit, but I don't think he'll, as I say, he won't change, and as Ulster said, he's good for 10, 15 points a season, absolutely.
Yeah, and by the way, what really pleases me, Andy, is the debut we've got from John McLaughlin. He never lets us down near it, does he?
No, he's a cracking goalie, him, isn't he? He's good with the feet, as Linda said there earlier on. If lose McGregor for any length of time, you wouldn't be worried about McLaughlin going in the sticks, would you? It would just roll on as we go. He'll get his chance, because, what is he, 32, 33 now? I think the big shagger will, I think he'll retire at the end of the season, and I think that's when he'll get his chance right enough. And he's all right. He's a good goalkeeper. Never let us down. I think he's got quite a few clean sheets as well. So you can't knock that. It's just unfortunate he's coming up against the big guy there, And I wouldn't ever want Alan McGregor to change. That's what I like about him. His will to win for Rangers is, second to none. So that's good as well. And if he's imparting that down to Alan McLaughlin for when he comes into the team, that can only be good for the Rangers as well, can't it?
Mm-hmm. Good for the team. Obviously, you'll not go through the season without two goalkeepers. I think McLaughlin's been a great acquisition in the squad. Bridgman.
Yeah, I was watching at the weekend there in the Brighton game, and he was really good. I thought he was a smashing player. No problem at all. I've always thought that of him. He's got it, but then he might have that wonderful attitude behind the scenes that he's always got McGregor in front of him, if you follow me. He's got something to prove that he can. He's not 100. I don't think he's ever going to beat McGregor as far as a goalkeeper's concerned. But he'll not be far behind him. So I think the Rangers have got two really, really clever goalkeepers and well experienced. If McGregor left tomorrow, he would just walk straight in there for sure.
Aye, McGregor's got another year, and we'll see. I think he's the number one, and we'll see where it goes. Just want to get your thoughts on Nikola Katic. What do you think? Do you think it would make sense for him to maybe go on a short-term loan, Linda, then Big Ulster?
Yeah, I think that's right, Ox. I just can't see Nico getting much time. I heard Gerrard saying that, he's definitely not ready to play. I think Katic himself thinks he is. I think that the player will always say that, but I don't see him getting into the team. I'm not saying that he won't in the future, but he needs to play games. He needs to get his match sharpness. He needs to get his overall fitness back. And a year's a long time to be out of football. So I think probably the best thing for him to do would be to go out and loan, as you say, maybe just up to Christmas and see if he can get, a good number of games under his belt. But the fans love him, and, let's hope he does have a future at the club.
Ulster?
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said there. I think he's an absolute cracking player. But the problem is, when you've got that length of injury, it can be hard to come back. And hopefully, he doesn't have any long-lasting problems. But he's another player that's bulked up really well. I've been watching his recovery, on the different sites and putting a picture of him, and he looks like he's got a lot bigger and ready for the Scottish division. But I think
he was on the same routine as Fox, actually.
I love Katic, I really do. And if Gerrard thinks he's just not ready yet, then maybe a short-term loan out somewhere to get him game time, and he maybe make his wee mistakes, as he will do, because it's been that while, that long he's been out. Let him go out there, get his games played, and hopefully he comes back. But I think if he can shake off this injury for good, I think he'll be a big player for us in the future. Mm-hmm. And he's also commanding when we've got the offensive corners. He scored a lot of goals for us with the headers as well. So if he's another asset that way, for scoring goals as well as keeping the ball out of the net.
He's obviously said he's no interested in going on loan. He wants to fight for his place, but I think that's what all professionals should say, Andy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I get where you're coming from, getting him out on loan. I don't want him to go out there. I want him to fight, like he says. But I think it's essential. When he came on there, when he settled in, he played okay. He overshot a couple of passes, but he'd been out for a length of time. Just to throw it back at you, if he goes out on loan, what level are we going to send him to?
I would somewhere abroad, maybe Holland or something, playing a decent standard.
That's what I was saying. He wouldn't be doing it in Scotland or Britain, would he? Like getting him out, I'm
talking about a short-term loan, maybe to Christmas or something, mate. Yeah.
My fear is there, Oxtel. If he goes out over in Europe, I don't think he'll come back. Somebody will snap him up. He's too good. He's very good. As I also said again, I said it before, in the opposing box, he scores a lot of goals. He's a big threat. He's a bit he's a bit tight at times at the back line, but he's young and he's got to get back in. But my fear is if he went out to somebody decent in Europe, I think he's that good, and if he got hit his straps again, I think we wouldn't see him, and I think that would be a shame as well. I really do like Katić, I think he's a great player. That goal he scored against the Filth there and all that, and a couple of goals against Motherwell on. He were vital goals for us, didn't he, before we imploded that season late enough. So, but he's got to have game time, hasn't he?
He's got to get in. I mean, for me, you've obviously got Golson and Helander. They're the number one and number two, Linda, then Bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've obviously got Balogun. He's probably the third choice just now. I don't know about the boy Simpson. I think the jury's still out on him, Ox. But he's obviously likes to have the balance as well, where you've got the left-sided player playing on the left side of that too. So Katić has got it all to do to get back into the team. But as I said, it's just about trying to get games. But definitely the first two are Golson and Helander. I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
I think you're right. Like when I see Katić, I watched Katić the weekend there, and I think Katić is, in the old techie terms, I think Katić is 2 yards short in both match fitness and physical fitness. And two yards is a long way for anyone to get up. His fitness isn't that bad. He'll get there. But he really needs to get the match fitness in. How he's going to get that, I don't know. But you could see with some of his runs, completely mistimed them. Tried his best, of course, and there's nothing untoward in that sense. But when you try to think about trying to put him up against someone like Helander, who has just come back from a bit of injury himself, recently, he's a different class entirely. But that's not to say that, but he had a horrendous injury in a long time out of the game. So he's got to build himself up, both the physical side and the match fitness. And I'm sure the manager and the coaching staff will be doing that, and they'll be getting the odd half an hour just to get his legs up going, in a full-size game. And that's probably what he needs. But you might not see the best of him for 6 months. How are we going to do this then? How are we going to do this? How are we going to give all our forward players half an hour? We've got Kelly, we've got Patterson. How are we going to give them all half an hour? I don't know how.
This is the problem. This is how there's big decisions to be made.
Huge decisions. But as far as Katić himself is concerned, I know we would probably like to see him going out on loan. Maybe going back to his home country and getting the team in there. And I'm sure Rangers have got some friendly teams they could put him in and do the business. But I would like to see him for the next 6 months getting a wee bit time with Rangers and getting in among the squad again and training with the squad, because that all makes up.
The training's no problem, but how do we get him on the pitch, Ulster?
Well,
do you mean this is Katić or all the players?
All of them, mate, because obviously we can't. We've only 3 substitutes now, and you've got League Cup ties, bits and pieces, but we can't get them all constantly playing.
No, this is it, and it's a headache. It's a good headache for Gerrard to have, But he's brought these players in, and he obviously has a plan, And it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a bit like last season when it was listening in. You were trying to put your 11 for the day, and it was nobody ever got it right because there's that many changes, and you're never panicking about who comes in, who comes out. But at the end of the day, I would say that the players that have came in and the players in the squad already will know that there's going to be a bit of rotation there, and that's just the way it is, But if we can, especially if we get ourselves in the Europe here, hopefully it's a Champions League. If it's Europa, whatever, but hopefully it's a Champions League. But they'll hopefully get more game time as well there. It's just a matter of chopping and changing. But it's just going to be one of those things. But it's a headache that Gerrard has, and I'm sure he's happy to have it. But I would say everyone will be happy enough. They'll know their place in the squad, and everybody will get a fair chance.
Yeah, it's difficult, Linda. Oh, we lost Linda. She's on mute. She's doing a bridge. But it's difficult. I get your point.
Sorry, Ox, I was on.
You were sleeping. Tell us.
Get into a bridge. You tell her.
Sorry, Bridge. No, I was just saying, even somebody like Itten, he scored 3 goals in the pre-season games, and he didn't obviously get to start them all, but none of us have got him in our starting team so far anyway on Saturday. And he might think he's a bit hard done by there. So it is going to be difficult to keep everybody happy, but as Ulster said, that they'll know that they've got a part to play, and they've just got to be ready, to perform at the highest level when they get their chance.
Yep, be interesting. Real good place, but it's a difficult task. What a good talking points. Everybody's team's slightly different. I can't believe, Andy, and I'll be honest with you, mate, that nobody's got Barker in their team.
Yeah, well,
if Barker's listening to this, he'll fall into you.
Yeah, Ronnie Barker.
Ronnie Barker.
No, you see, this is where he learned his con, though, Steven Gerrard. He's got a couple of things. He's got to keep them all happy. We're down to 3 subs. The teams that we've named tonight, right? You've got no Hitton, no Morales, and no Roof. Now, that's 3 quality players there, isn't it? And none of the 3, obviously, Morales is not going to be, when we're going forward. You could go out with that team, say that team's playing well, referee could be sat on the bench 1 week, That's the good place we're in. Can you keep them all happy? Are they all prepared to go along if they're sitting on the bench for a period of time? We hope we can. We hope that the players are going to buy into what Steven Gerrard and the backroom team are trying to achieve at Rangers. I think we can, but what footballers are like. They're not getting a game. The pet lip comes out sometimes. So we'll see. But I mean, the team that we've got going forward. Anyway, my team's only 1 out with Patterson, so it's not that bad. So I'm quite happy right enough. But I think we'll be all right. I mean, look, it's a long hard season. We know the story.
Obviously, you've got suspensions and injuries and lots of form. People move on. People ask for a transfer because of personal reasons. You just don't know what's round the corner. Linda?
Yeah, and if you think about last season, Ox, there was a time where we were really short in the midfield. Remember, and Stephen Davis ended up playing a lot more games than we thought he would, and he didn't let us down. He was outstanding all season. So yeah, I think things end up kind of sorting themselves out, and because of the game schedule, there will be injuries picked up. And as I said earlier, it's just about trying to keep everybody, involved and making sure that they know that it's very much a squad game. But I think there are going to be a few people that will be moved on, like maybe your Middleton, Jordan Jones. So he will be looking to probably trim the squad anyway. And they have said over the last couple of years that there might be a big transfer out, just to balance the books. But I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with that. It might depend on how we go on in terms of the Champions League, but there's not been a lot of chat about that over the last few weeks. So I think we're all hoping that there's not going to be any big players leaving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, just going back to Steven Gerrard, 45 games in Europe as manager, 24 wins, 15 draws and 6 losses. Remember where we were, Ulster. It is some record.
It's absolutely incredible, actually. And it's we're all talking here today. You could get big teams if we beat Malmo, we get big teams, and you want to avoid this team, you want to avoid that team. I think there'll be teams in Europe that'll not be wanting to face Glasgow Rangers. They'll be looking, going, I don't fancy playing them, and that's the difference now where we are now to where we were maybe a few years ago when we were getting knocked out at the very start against Progress or whatever they were called. If you remember back then, it was another awful night. But it's a complete transformation now, and we really are an animal in Europe. And we, as I said earlier on, we've faced these big teams, and every time we've matched them. Absolutely incredible. And as I say, it just shows you the turnaround in the whole club. And that's why I don't fear playing anybody. Who'd bring them on, because see at Ibrox, the way we play our football, if we're on it, we can take on any team.
Aye, I think we showed that. I know it was on a friendly Ulster, and I know you can't read that much into it, but I think we showed how decent a side we were on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that was absolutely fantastic. I think the quoted was near £200 million. That Real Madrid team was worth, and let's face it, even if there was a couple of players short, that's Real Madrid. You know what I mean? That's the pinnacle of anyone in world football. That's where you want to be. You know, that's where all the young players strive to be, is Real Madrid, and they came to the eyebrows, mate, and we totally bossed them. It's just incredible, you know what I mean? And you think of that, you're talking about the ball in the head. You imagine us, you know, you say, look, lads, see, in 9 years we're going to be playing Real Madrid, albeit a friendly. We're going to totally outplay them and we're going to beat them. That's just incredible. It's just going to be, I'm so excited for the season. Just bring it on. Can't wait.
When you say £200 million, you think of Real Madrid. I think of 200 million. I think of Bridges' bank balance.
Right. Man's a shocker, isn't he? A right shocker.
Shane Bridge.
It is some record, Linda, isn't it? Some record, Stevie G, in Europe, in it. 45 games, you know, and 24 wins, 15 draws, and 6 losses. Yeah. You know, and his losses, obviously, the one against the Prague team, and then the year before we've lost against decent sides, you know, the two Bayer Leverkusen as well, you know, they were a decent side. And
some of the Night Sox as well at Ibrox in the Europa League, and imagine what it would be like if we're in the Champions League. But some of the games, some of the atmospheres, the one of them stands out is the Liga Warsaw game. The night, you know, the players get taken off the pitch because of all the smoke. And then Alfie pops up with the winner. Was it the 85th minute or something like that? Maybe even later than that. Jordan Jones cross, Alfie headed in, and the whole stadium went berserk. It was just an incredible night to get us through. So, yeah, look forward to more nights like that. But it's an unbelievable record, and he gets the credit from us. So that's the main thing, I think.
Yeah. Andy, is some record, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, like you say, 9 years ago, where we were, and you're looking at that now. I mean, I think we can get even stronger, right enough, and you know, as we were saying there earlier on, right, we're in this position now, going into qualifiers of Champions League, doing what we've done in Europe, because we've come through the gears and we're getting there, and he's building the team, putting the jigsaw together. And teams don't want, I've said it before, same as I also said there, teams don't want the players now. They draw Rangers, oh no. You know, whereas if you'd got Rangers a few years back, even when we had McCoy and all that, you know, teams didn't worry about it. I think teams don't want to play the Rangers now. It's as simple as that. And long way it continue. He's just got something about him, man. He's got an aura that he seems to put onto the players. I mean, they're not the greatest players in the world, not from what I've seen or what you've seen or anybody else. But he just seems to be able to get results out of him. He seems to be able to adapt to Europe and get it going, you know.
We've got some top players, mate. We've got some top players in our team.
I think we've got very good players. I don't think we've got great players as yet. Like, well, give it another 2 years as we build and start winning trophies along with the championships and getting rid of the league, and then we'll say they're great. We've got very good players at the moment now. Now can they go on to be great players? That's what that's how I'm seeing it at the minute. Like,
I don't know if they'll ever be great for us, whether they'll have the longevity to be great, but they're top players. The guy for Kamara, for instance, he's a top player, Ulster.
Oh, Kamara is unbelievable. I was watching the Euros there, and he was amazing in the Euros as well. I think he got the stats for the most. He had won the most balls, and you know, in the group stages out of everybody with the stats.
I've seen that.
What? Sorry.
Interceptions.
The interceptions, you know, and like that. There's some fantastic midfield players and ball winners in that whole tournament, and for him to come out and top, you know, and I still can't believe it's 50. You know what money that player is going to make us in the end is incredible. But I hopefully he stays with us for at least another season, gets a taste of the Champions League. But what a find that he was, to be honest, absolutely fantastic.
Top player. Listen, congratulations to Kemar Ruth, who finished third in youth as goal of the season. Third, yeah, I can't believe that personally, but there you go. But what a goal that was,
Yeah, great goal.
I think we were all in shock, and I think what made it even better, Linda, was the weather conditions.
It was an unbelievable night, Ox, wasn't it? And it was like that for most of the game. So for him to actually, gather the ball, he moved it up so many yards, looks up, and then obviously hits an unbelievable shot over the goalie. And it was a fantastic goal. But obviously there must have been big competition for him not to actually get first place. So, but no, well done to Kamar. That's another player we've not seen a lot of over the last couple of games, and he's to come back into the team. But the other top player, just following on from what Ulster was saying there, for me is Joe Aribo, and we haven't seen as much of him either. So hopefully, these guys are all right, and we'll see them very soon. But I think Joe Aribo's a top player.
Yeah. Well, Ulster, it's great to have you back, big man. You enjoyed it? Or do you feel as if you've never been away?
I feel like I've enjoyed it, and I feel like I haven't been away either. It's been great to be back again. I'll make sure I'll be more regular. It's been brilliant to get on again. It really has. So it's a pleasure always.
Can I come in on something? I'd just like to say that the goal that won that the tournament, best goal of the season or whatever it was, I didn't think it was better than Ruth's goal. I thought Ruth's goal was world class. Really? That's what I thought.
I don't disagree with you, mate. I don't disagree with you. And what do you think of having Big Ulster back on Bridge?
The big man's more than welcome in this show any day of the week, any hour of any day. He's been away too long. Fantastic to have you, pal. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cheers, Bridge.
I can only echo that. And what about you, Linda? You enjoyed your evening?
Oh, it was a great show. Enjoyed all the chat, and it's great to have the show back on every night, and I'm sure all the listeners are enjoying it, and we all can't wait for Saturday. So just win the game for his Rangers, please.
Yep. And thanks for you as usual, Andy. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Been a pleasure. I look forward to it every night, as you know. Brilliant.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Well, Bridgeman, it's over to you.
Well, what can we say about it this evening? Wasn't it just fantastic? Marvellous talk. Great, brilliant to hear like the Big Ulster. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, the rest of the panel, just wonderful. Just wonderful. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, please, we're building up to the start of the season. So everybody get their rattles out and give it a loudly for the Rangers. Keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us all the way through. Keep it going.
Can I thank Andy for joining us? Also, Amanda, who phoned in, and of course the one and only Big Ulster. Thanks to Bridge and Linda for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night, where Albert and Southside will be joined by Bridgeman in the build-up to the 2021-22 season. Please stay safe. Speak to you all soon. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Today, forever and for always, we are Rangers through and through. Well, the legends come and the legends go, but Rangers live on just the same. For a new one's born when the blue shirts won. We all remember their name. We are the legendary Rangers. We wear the legendary blue. Today, forever and for always, we are Rangers through and through. And there is no doubt what we're all about when we face the world and say, bring it on some more, 'cause you know